Hi, my name's Matt, and this is the Pressure Proof Creative podcast, the show where world-class creatives come together to drop the mask, burn the bullshit, and get real about the pressures, the pains, and monumental uncertainty of generating genius on demand. Like, subscribe, and comment to show your support. Hi, Mark. Thanks for coming on to the podcast today. It's really good to have you here.
Well, Matt, thanks for asking me. Delighted to be here.
I'm delighted to be chatting to you as well. I'm looking forward to this one, very much so. I look forward to all of them, obviously. I'm looking forward to this one as well.
Well, you had to say that, didn't you? But I know this is probably your number one favourite.
Exactly, as we discussed before. Okay, mate. So can we just start a little bit, just who you are, for anyone who doesn't know, which will be very few people, I'd imagine. Can you just let us know who you are, what it is you're up to now, and why do you keep doing it? Why are you still doing it all after all of this time and having fun with it?
Yeah, I'm Mark Denton, Esquire. Very important, the Esquire bit. Stolen from Tommy Steele, half a sixpence. Where, because I nick all of my ideas from other places. Why am I still doing it after 50 years? This is my 50th year in commercial art.
Amazing.
1976 I started. Truthfully, I started in 75, working as a paste-up artist on Knitter's Digest, but it wasn't advertising, was it? So why am I still doing it? Why not? What better things have I got to do?
Right.
It's creative and there's interesting people to talk to, and you make things, and you get yourself in trouble, and then you get patted on the head when you do something good, and it's more exciting than my first two choices of career, which was I came out of school, not many O levels, couldn't get into art college, didn't have enough O levels, and number one on the list was panel beater and sprayer.
Right, yeah.
Number two on the list was hairdresser, because I knew I wanted to do something a bit creative with my hands. And I'm on my dad's drive, cleaning my scooter, Lambretta SX200, world's finest scooter. This is back in the mid-70s, early 70s actually. And this bloke I'd never met before on his moped pulled up, started talking to me, and he was going to art college. And I said, yeah, well, I tried to get into art college, couldn't get in, not enough O levels. He said, well, I'm going to this art college for thick people. You only need 3 O levels. So I went to art college, and I've been working ever since.
So what was your first job? How did you get into it? What was it? What was the route?
Well, my first job was being a paste-up artist. Mm-hmm. So I was in the studio, and then I went from Knitter's Digest, doing paste-up, quite crude illustrations, because I'm not a great illustrator, and layouts and things. And I got a job in the back of campaign, assistant art director needed. And there was a tiny agency in Great Portland Street called Bridge Advertising.
Right.
And it was only me and the creative director, that was it. And I did paste up, just set in headlines, copy fitting, visualizing, everything, filling my lungs with spray mount, that sort of stuff. And he had worked in a trendy agency back in the 60s called Coleman, Prentice and Varley, and he had tales of this amazing creative person called John Webster. Right. And he used to tell me about proper advertising. And eventually he introduced me to someone else he knew at Leo Burnett, and I got a job there as a visualizer, not as an art director, as a visualizer. So pre-computers, art directors had to have their concepts drawn up with magic markers to present to clients, and I did storyboards as well. So that was my job, visualizer at Leo Burnett, 1979. I think I got a job there.
What was it like working there to get into that kind of place?
Well, first of all, because they had a policy for the account group, you had to be an Oxford or Cambridge graduate, and despite my now acquired media accent, I'm quite common.
Right.
So there's me, quite common. My old man had a scrapyard in Peckham. Um, Quite common, not very educated, formally educated. I'd like to think I was wise in many other ways. And but I've nearly made myself laughing because I'm not wise in many ways now. Um, and there's these brainy people in flash offices in St Martin's Lane, and I had that. What am I doing here? They're going to find out. And I went for, I remember, and every now and then I used to get invited into meetings. I went for 3 years without even saying a word in a meeting. I just got this knack of just holding my chin and nodding sagely and never opening my gob because I was genuinely thought, oh, I don't speak proper, and
Wow.
they're all brainy.
Wow.
And I was at home knocking out magic marker visuals, but at the same time, there's another part of me within week one. I don't want to be a visualizer anymore. I want to be an art director. I want to be the one coming up with the ideas.
Mm.
So I did, it's funny because I had no self confidence on one hand, but I was hugely ambitious on the other.
Yep. Yep.
And I had this, I've never reached it. I wanted to be an art director. I wanted to win awards. I wanted to have a semi in Sig Cup with a Triumph Dolomite sprint on the drive.
Did you get all of that stuff?
I've never had that.
Oh, right. Got it.
Never achieved that. So that's what I suppose that's the answer to the first question. Why am I still doing it? I want that Dolomite sprint.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's my Dolomite sprint?
What was it like being an art director back then? What was it? Was
Well,
it good fun? What was it?
they didn't an art director. Again, all the time I was at Leo Burnett, I was still a visualizer. They threw me a few crumbs every now and then, and always a trade ad, do a trade ad. So, uh, um, I'd get a little bit of art direction to do, if you like. But at any point, the boss could say, right, okay, I've got this campaign, draw it up. So I wasn't, I suppose, when you start somewhere as a junior, you're always a junior in their eyes.
Yes.
So I was desperate to make a mark for myself, and they didn't have a seat or a desk in the studio, so I was put in the only spare desk in the department, and that was in the same room as Norman Ike. And Norman Ike, I thought he was ancient then. He was 51. I thought he was ancient. This old bloke, 51. And he was the inventor of the milk tray man. So he invented the milk
Right.
tray man. He'd done the great Curly Whirly ads with Terry Scott. He'd done nuts, oh hazelnuts. He'd done that. You name it. Most of the famous Flake Girl ads, poppy fields and sunflowers, and all the very famous Flake ads.
Amazing.
So he'd done
Amazing.
all of that stuff and more. So and 11 o'clock every day, because the pub opening times were different then. 11 o'clock, in fact, it was about 5 to 11. He said, "Right, we're going now." And I was only a junior. He's the boss, so I'm a junior. Right, we're going, and he dragged me down the pub. And first week he said, and I wasn't a big drinker. I've never been a big drinker. He said, "Right, okay, from now on you drink Stingo." And Stingo is like this little bottle. I don't know if you know it. I don't know if they
Never
sell it
heard of
anymore.
Stingo. No.
Right, okay, look it up. Ask your mum and dad about Stingo. It's like barley wine. So it's really, really strong. And there's me, don't drink, never been down the pub at 11 o'clock before. And I thought, it's the boss, so I've got to drink Stingo. So,
What
and it's like
percentage is
drinking
that?
medicine.
What percentage is that? Is that like a high
It's
percentage?
it's like rocket fuel. And it tastes like the worst medicine you've ever tasted. So I did sip it very slowly, but I thought, it's the boss. I have to drink Stingo. I mean, that didn't last long. Obviously, before long, I said, no, I'm not drinking this anymore. But certainly, I think it was probably a couple of months that I think, oh, God, it's 11 o'clock. I've got to go and drink a Stingo.
Oh,
I mean, that's how pathetic and out of my depth I was, because I thought, I really thought I was like a duck out of water. Take me down to the old man's scrapyard and get me to salt some metal and crush it into blocks. Yeah, I could do that. Um, oh, these
Did he
flat
teach
posh
you?
people.
Did he teach you when you were in the pub, or did you just get pissed, or what happened?
Well, do you know what? I sipped it so slowly that it always affected me, obviously. And Norm didn't get pissed. I didn't know that then, and he's long dead now. And I really don't mean this in a derogatory way at all. But as he used to do these fantastic drawings with a very shaky line. What I didn't really realize was he was an alcoholic.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, because I was young and stupid.
Mm, yeah.
He had a drink problem. He had to go to the pub at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
But that was the culture then, insofar as all of the top creative directors or group heads, they would have called them then. Creative director was the big boss. They had fridges in their office and it's full of beer and wine. And you'd go down to because again there was great education because they'd say, right, we've got a recording studio session, so come along, see how these are done. So I'd go, they'd take me along on still shoots and then take me down to the production department and show me how transparencies are marked up before they're retouched and briefing retouch and stuff. So I saw everything, so it was a great apprenticeship. They dragged me along on commercial shoots as well. So I'd see shoot, and they would have got me as a visualizer to draw the storyboards and sometimes make the animatics before I went on the shoots to see them being made. So what an education. So despite the fact I was frustrated and I really wanted to make stuff for myself and be considered an art director, I couldn't have got a better education from this veteran
Yeah. Massively so.
of some of the most famous campaigns with jingles that we used to sing in the playgrounds.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
real popular culture stuff. Leo Burnett was an unfashionable agency then. My perception of what's good and what's not now has shifted in my older age
Yeah.
because back then you had the ultimate agencies were CDP and BMP. They're the ones who used to scoop most of the awards. And there were other good agencies, but they were the ones that any creative wanted to work at. CDP and BMP.
Yeah.
But I didn't realise that I was in a great place because Leo Burnett was very unfashionable. It was Leo Burnett and McCann's were like right at the bottom of the list when it came to where you want to work as a creative. But they were producing very, very popular
Yeah.
ads with
Iconic
the
stuff
punters.
that lasted the sense.
Not with the awards, but with the punters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can see how valuable that was now. And yeah, awards are great. And I really, first of all, I wanted to be Dolomite Sprint.
Yeah.
I wanted to win an award because I thought, oh, I'll win a few awards and then people will start listening to me,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever my accent's like. Of course, it's nonsense. I was young and stupid and I'd told myself that story. But now I look back and I think that was a great agency because they
Amazing.
did stuff that people can remember now, all of these years later.
Well, it got into the psyche, didn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
It got through.
Whether it won awards or not, it was part of popular culture.
Yeah.
And that's as now I'm a little bit more mature. I think I want to do stuff that becomes part of popular culture.
Yeah. Definitely.
For me, selfishly, by answering, because I do lots of other stuff when I'm not given a brief. So then I'm just pleasing myself. But if a client gives me a brief, an agency or a client or whoever in the world of commercial art, I genuinely think, look, I want this, but I want you to have it as well.
Yeah.
Don't you want your product, whatever,
Yeah.
to be part of popular culture? Not only that, but the idea of doing something that makes people
Yeah.
go and buy
So-
the tin of baked beans that you're advertising.
Sorry, mate. It was just the postman. It was just a
No, I saw that. I didn't think you were having some kind of
fit.
physical
Yeah.
episode. I knew there was someone coming in. I thought, oh, I wonder who that is.
Yeah, just a postman
Um,
freaking out.
I thought I was going to meet someone new then for a moment. Um, but yeah, wouldn't it be great if punters started liking advertising again? Because that's what I've found now. Because believe it or not, I like a chat. I'll let you get a word in a minute. I like a chat. So whenever I'm anywhere near normal people, which is a lot, because I'll talk to anyone, whether
Yep.
it's in a cab or sitting on a park bench or down the supermarket or whatever. And if you talk about advertising, they don't like it.
Yeah.
That's the general mood now. It's not like it's a slight annoyance. They actively tell me how much they don't like it, and
Yeah.
that wasn't the case last century.
100% agree. What do you think changed?
Um, a lot of things changed,
Mm.
and a lot. It's like a lot of things came together at the same time.
Yeah.
And basically, right, I'm making this up now because there's a lot of strands. But the bottom line is, in my humble opinion, it's only an opinion, advertising agencies forgot what they were selling.
Yeah.
And they forgot that they were selling magic. And so clients stopped going to them for magic. They stopped listening to them because, oh, they don't sell magic. They just do anything I say. So the bond was broken and the deal was over. And here's a load of timesheets I filled in. And
Yeah.
guess what? We had 20 people in that meeting. So
Yeah.
here's 20 lots of timesheets.
Yeah.
Here's your bill.
Yeah.
And the clients think, oh, I'm getting great service because they do everything I say.
Yes.
And they've got so many people on it. And yeah, but what have you made? Well, we didn't make anything, but we had lots of meetings.
Yeah.
And of course, agencies keep the process going for as long as possible because they've got fewer long-term relationships with clients. So as soon as they make something, it's over. They get stop getting paid.
Mm.
In a nutshell. I mean, I
Yeah.
know that's a daft, simplistic way of looking at it, but there's a lot of truth in that. So agencies are not trusted to deliver the magical stuff that shifts the graph for clients.
Yeah. I would agree. So what happened to make you want to start your own thing up? Was that because you wanted to get closer to clients and get good stuff out?
You're making me smile now just by asking me a hard question like that. I don't have a thought process as sophisticated as that. You know, I react to whatever's happening now and the circumstances that I'm in, and I can't help but I think creatively about every problem
Yeah.
because that's the only way I can think. I wouldn't say I'm not logical, but sometimes I understand the logic of cracking a problem, and then I do the opposite of what logic tells you to do.
Yeah.
That feels like the right thing to do, doing the polar opposite.
Yeah.
And it's worked very well for me. Here I am 50 years later, and I haven't got my Dolomite sprint, but I'm solvent.
Yes.
Yeah, that's against the odds.
Way better. Yeah. Yeah.
I've never set out to be the richest person in advertising, and I've achieved that aim.
Yeah.
I'm not the richest person in advertising. I invest heavily in myself and I over deliver, not because I'm a saint or a martyr or anything, because I like over delivering.
Mm.
Uh, client says, "Oh, I want a commercial," and I say, "Yeah, I've got the plan for the commercial, and here's a poster campaign as well. But we don't want a poster campaign. But oh, I've shot it already.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't know it was going to be that good. We'll run it."
We'll have it.
I've got I've got loads of stories like that. Oh, we didn't ask for that. Oh, yeah, but I've already made it. Oh, it's good, isn't it?
Is that how the great Nike stuff you did got out there?
Well, certainly.
Air
Well,
traffic
yeah,
control and
it's what happened on Nike. We won Nike. We were lucky enough to win Nike, but we were only taken on as the agency that did the soccer stuff. So it's specialist press soccer. Um, And they told us, because we had people from, not only from Nike but Wieden and Kennedy in the States, come and see us when we pitched and all the rest of it. And they told us up front, say, look, it's only the specialist soccer, what they called soccer,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
football, but they called it soccer, um, because the Americans didn't understand soccer like we do, and they said, you're only tasked with doing that. You don't do the telly, you don't do the posters. That's all handled by Wieden and Kennedy in the States. I don't think they didn't have a London office then. Um, so that was the deal. And then before you know it, oh, guess what? Because I met this great creative Chris Palmer, and he was very like-minded, and we just used to do things that we weren't asked to do, and push our luck. And before you know it, oh, we've done a TV commercial and we've done a big poster campaign. And oh, they've asked us to do another poster campaign because gone down so well.
Wow.
You know, if you just do things that people ask you to do, then as far I don't want to be belligerent or upset anyone, but I think, oh, you only want that. I want to give you a gift. There's so much other stuff that you can have. Why not have that stuff as well?
Yeah,
And then
proactivity.
everyone's happy, and it's a great big bonus, and the world's a very happy place.
No, absolutely. And what happened with Wrangler? It was the same thing with those guys?
Well, Wrangler again. They were struggling. Levi's. This was back in a time when Levi's were the kings of advertising. They'd just done laundrette, and they've had a couple of years of doing those great Levi's ads, fantastic.
Yeah.
And Wrangler were struggling in the marketplace, and they wanted to shine a spotlight on themselves. So they came to us and said, "Look, we want a TV commercial to rival the Levi stuff, or at least be considered next to it." They wanted to up their profile and sales, obviously, and came up with a campaign, a commercial campaign, and we presented a commercial that they liked, and we were all set to make that. But I thought, well, this is a bigger campaign. This is a bigger idea. Chris, because we did loads of research, and the kids said, "Oh, we hate that W on the back pocket." The kids hated Wranglers, hate that W on the back pocket, and a lot of more sensible people than me said, "Oh, we got to avoid showing the W." And I thought, no, make the campaign about the W. That's the opposite thing.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
No, make it about the W. That
Yeah.
thing that everyone hates. Don't hide it. Make the whole campaign around the W.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had the commercial, and I thought, well, this is bigger than just a commercial. It needs to be propaganda out there on the streets. So I used to walk into work and walk past all of the flyer posters, and generally the flyer posters were for new albums and bands and gigs and all the rest of it, all the stuff that young people are interested in. So I thought, right, okay, if there's a flyer poster propaganda campaign, W, then that's our target audience, and it makes it bigger than a TV commercial. And anyway, I did a quick scribble because very useful being a visualizer pre-computers.
Yeah.
And the client said, no, just do the commercial, not interested. And I went away and I thought, no, these are good. So I drew them up a bit better, and I coloured them in, and I showed them to the client for the second time, and they said, look, we really don't want posters. We haven't got the budget for posters. Don't want to do them. Just concentrate on the commercial. We want that to be great. Anyway, because I talk to a lot of people. Someone rings me up, I talk to them. Even if they're trying to sell me double glazing sometimes. But I've always been one. I know there's a lot of creatives who might get a call and say, look, I've got a photographer's book. Can I show you? No, I'm very busy at the moment. I always make time to see everybody, producers, because you meet loads of interesting people who want something. And when they want something, sometimes you can do a mutually beneficial swap.
Yeah.
So this young photographer knocked on the door. Can I show you the portfolio? He'd been an assistant, but was just starting out as a professional photographer in his own right. And I looked through the book and I thought, this is good. I had the concepts for the the Wrangler posters. And I said, look, these haven't been, I was honest. I said, these haven't been bought by the client. The client actually doesn't want them. Do you want to shoot them? And he said, yeah. So we shot them
Wow.
without talking to the client. And the next meeting with the client, I said, you know, this post after we talked about the production of the commercial, those posters. He said, look, I've told you twice, I don't want them. I said, look, here they are, finished. And he said, oh, I didn't know they were going to be that good. And they ran them as poster, 4 sheets and 6 sheets posters. They printed them on T-shirts and sold them.
Amazing.
Printed them and put them in store. And they gave us a budget to do another load the next year.
Wow. So it paid off.
Because and you know, don't think, oh, I'm going to wind the client up here. I think I've got a gift for you.
Mm.
And they were happy at the end of it. Not, you know, they weren't furious and cursing me. They were happy.
I love it.
Because you know, I think I want to please you by giving you something really good.
Yeah.
You know, that's the deal that's broken. You know,
Yeah.
as soon as any agencies or creatives say, oh, I'll stop trying now and just give you what you want, then where's the magic in that? Where's the glowing pride in that on both sides? Where's the agent or the client that says, bloody hell, they really went the extra mile on this and gave me all this extra fantastic stuff that has dented my graph in the right way?
Do you think that clients would accept it these days, or do you think clients are open for it, or do you think they would just shut it down?
I'd like the opportunity, you know, generally, believe it or not, outside of pre-production meetings, and I can be honest, I can pretend that I'm doing as well as I want to do. I'm not getting as much work as I would like to. You know, I'm 70 this year. You know, I can see there's a lot of young creatives who have never heard of me. Of course they haven't. You know, it's my job to keep my profile high enough so I get considered.
Yes.
And sometimes I get put on lists to direct commercials as an outside choice. There's this quirky old bloke from the past. Let's put him on the list. But there's a lot, you know, I'm fully aware there's a lot of boxes that I don't tick now. Young, trendy, latest, hottest director in town. I'd like to think I'm as skillful as most people out there. You know, I genuinely think I am.
I would agree, probably more so.
But unless I can get in, you know, when you have a script sent to you, and sometimes you do a treatment without ever meeting anyone, then I haven't got the chance to wave my arms around enthusiastically and win them over. And I think, so certainly, I don't get myself in front of as many clients as I would. Clients, not only creatives, as many clients as I would like, because I think there is still an opportunity to use what we're meant to be good at, persuasion.
Yep.
You know, that stuff that we really are meant to be good at, selling stuff.
Yeah.
Why are we not selling good stuff now? Generally, massive generalization. There are notable exceptions. There's still good work out there. There are still very talented people. I think everyone's every bit as talented as ever. And the tools we've got now at our disposal are better than they've ever been before.
Yeah.
Production's never been cheaper. Remember, everything I created back in the 70s and 80s was done pre-Mac. You know, but you look at some of the stuff that was done back then, and it is, from a production quality point of view, it is exceptional.
Yeah.
And better than, you know, I buy all the Sunday supplements now, occasionally, not every week, but occasionally, thinking naively, oh, let's have a look at what's happening in press ad world. Well, people are still paying big money for press ads in the Sunday Times magazine. There's not half as many as there used to be, not a quarter as many, but they're still there. And I imagine they're a lot of money.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
But I can't remember the last Sunday supplement I looked at where I found a good press ad.
Do you think it's fear?
But you can see there's big money being spent on this vanilla flavoured, non-persuasive wallpaper.
So what do you think stopping? Do you think that's fear from clients or fear from the agencies, or what do you think stops that from happening?
I think, yeah, fear is part of it, but also I think um, there's several generations that have been brought up in agencies that have never seen how good it used to be.
Mm,
So, and a lot of creatives now, things like the D&AD annual doesn't exist.
mm,
And I know, okay, you go on LinkedIn and you see people posting old ads and they're good and people make remarks about them and blah, 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 blah. But I still talk to a lot of students,
yeah, you do, yeah.
because I still talk to loads of people. I talk to anyone, clients, everyone from the top end to the bottom end, because it's interesting. And of course, I've forgotten what I was saying there.
So
um,
is it
yeah,
fear?
remind me what the question is.
So it's partly fear.
Fear. Ah, right. Okay. No, um, the youngsters don't look backwards. They look at what is currently winning the awards.
Mm,
Um, I saw a student team not so long ago. It's about a year ago, but I've just remembered it. And they came in to see me and to look at their portfolio, and always interesting. And I was, and of course I'm nosy, and I want to know, where do you want to work? First of all, the question I asked all of them, young people, young, fresh, creative people, I say, why do you want to work in advertising? Because when I was a kid, and I never thought I'd ever be, I didn't even think about the job of the person who wrote the ad that made my mum laugh.
mhm.
And she'd shout up the stairs, quick, that advert with the monkeys is on again. And we'd
Yeah,
all run down in our pajamas and watch the advert, and my mum would be laughing. And I liked seeing my mum laugh.
yeah.
And then we talk about it or sing the songs in the playground the next day. So I had that. But the new creatives coming along haven't had that.
Mm,
Sometimes they get a good advert to talk about that comes out at Christmas for John Lewis or whatever.
yeah,
And then the rest of the year, there's this barren landscape of a load of vanilla sludge.
yeah.
And so they've never had that thing that I've had. So I genuinely think, why do you want to work in advertising when there's so many other creative opportunities now? Gaming,
Yeah.
I stick my nose into everything. I'm not very good at anything, but I do stick my nose in everything. And I like computer games, um, and television's never been better.
Yeah.
It's had a dip now. There was a golden age going on 5, 10 years ago, and now there's a little dip. But all of those stations and platforms and all the rest of it that we've got to play with, the internet is your own broadcast company. There's more creative opportunity than ever before. What on earth do you want to work in an advertising agency for? Because sometimes, with notable exceptions, obviously, they look like they're not very creative places.
Mm,
So I ask that question first, and then I say, what agency do you want to work at? And it's this is no exaggeration. Every single one uncommon.
yeah. Yeah.
What's the number
That's
two choice? They don't know, but the number
interesting.
one choice is uncommon. And this young team came to see me and said, "But uncommon." I said, right, what's the advertising that they've done that you admire most? And they went, I'm not really sure what they've done, but we want to work at uncommon.
Wow.
They didn't. It's not that they don't look backwards to see how good it can be. They didn't actually know what uncommon were doing. It was just the stock answer that all the students said. Oh, that's the agency I want to work at.
Wow.
So where's the, you know, where's the
Criti-
passion for advertising?
yeah. Where's the critical
It,
thinking?
I'm not, don't get me wrong. I'm not an advocate for going backwards. I don't think we should recreate what happened last century. It'd be daft to do that. Someone give me a brief to do a very, I don't even know what the modern terms of, but very interruptive thing on Instagram. Give me that brief. I'll have a go.
Yeah.
You've got to grab someone in a couple of seconds. All right, I'll have that brief. Thank you. It's a poster brief, isn't it, with a bit of movement on it, in a way that. See, again, I'm not a teenage kid. The amount of time I know, I love the telly. I park myself in front of the telly a lot. I'm online all the time. I like social media. I engage in social media a lot. I make lots of friends on social media. I meet them in real life.
Yeah.
If someone wants to have a chat on or be linked in with me on LinkedIn, I say, who are you? What do you do? You're in London. Do you want a cup of tea? I'll go out and see them. Is that what you're meant to do? I don't know. I like talking to people.
Yeah, great.
They might know stuff that I don't, and 9 times out of 10 they do know stuff that I don't, and they might be interested in what I do. And then I've met them in real life, and it's better. So I like doing that stuff. But I'm a doom scroller, the same as everyone else. But I love Instagram. I follow loads of people of my choice on Instagram. And what I'm amazed at is just the amount of creativity and creative people that are out there. So when I was an art director, or solely an art director, because I'll do art direction if someone wants me to, I'm always available for anything. Knitting very small jumpers on needles, I'll do that. Anything, any brief, I'll take on. Shelf wobblers. But when I was an art director, you'd have a relatively limited pool of directors, a relatively limited pool of animators. Every now and then, illustrators, photographers, all the rest of it. And every now and then you might do something really bold and use a director from America. Very, very rare, but you might use an American director or an American illustrator or a Japanese illustrator. But generally you dipped into this pool. Now, the creative stuff on my Instagram with fantastic animators that I've never seen before, fantastic illustrators, artists, photographers, filmmakers, editors, AI people, just this wealth of creative stuff. And I do share it, and someone sends me something funny and I share it with my mates because it's funny or good in from an aesthetic point of view, or dramatic or whatever. It moves me in some way. It generally makes me laugh. It's the funny stuff. I don't share any adverts, none.
Interesting, isn't it?
And I share stuff every day, and I share more than one thing every day. And I'm constantly just doing screen grabs of just amazing things that I've found, and I've got this archive of just fantastic stuff that the agencies are not using. See, I got my freedom pass a few years back. So suddenly I still get going black cabs because I like talking to the cab drivers, but every now and then I want to get somewhere fast and I'll go on the tube. And so it opened up the tube to me again.
Yeah.
And this is a few years back. And I was genuinely gobsmacked because I hadn't been on the tube for 5-10 years, something like that. I was, back when advertising used to pay you a lot of money, I just got in cabs all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I'd got down on the platform before the trains turned up, I'd walk from one end of the platform trying to find a good poster. And they're not there.
Yeah.
They're genuinely not there. Every now and then, you might see something from Uncommon, because they're, very clever. The strategy they've made themselves famous with analog stuff.
Yes, they have, yeah.
In this digital world, they are world famous because of an analog medium.
Yes.
Posters.
Doing the opposite.
They've made themselves famous on posters.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not saying the telly's not good. It's very, very slick. The posters that they do are the best posters out there.
Yeah.
He said provocatively.
Yeah.
Just to wind everyone up.
Yeah.
But generally, if you haven't got an Uncommon poster or some other notable exceptions, then I'm thinking, where's the good art direction? Where's the good lines? There's no
Mm.
original photography. In a world where photography has never been more popular with the punters,
Yeah.
more people are taking their own photographs, they're grading them, they're they're animating them, they're doing amazing things. This is punters, this is kids. No one's been no one has been more interested in photography than they in any point in history ever before. And yet, great original photography is not being used on posters or definitely not press ads because they're dead. But and I'm thinking, someone's paid a lot of money for that poster.
Mm.
Why have they paid a lot of money and the agency haven't said to that client, you do know that no one's going to look at that poster, don't you? No one's going to look at that. They're going to walk past it and no one's going to notice it. No one's going to say, um, when they get to work, they say, "Yeah, I saw this funny poster today,
Mm.
or this great line, or
Mm.
back when I was commuting when I was younger, and you'd see all the Benson and Hedges posters. It was like, but there wasn't just Benson and Hedges posters. You'd have the Smirnoff campaign,
Yeah, just
48
all
Seats,
over the
running
place.
alongside that
Yeah.
with great photographers, original
Yeah.
images that I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
And it would be like an art gallery in the streets.
Mm. Yeah.
No one would hang, who would hang any of the posters up on their bedroom wall now? Look, this is 36 years later, 36, 37 years later. The Nike campaign
Yeah.
that I did, I still get regular requests for a lot of Nike posters that we did at Simon's Palmer,
I'm not.
Denton,
I'm not
Clement Johnson.
surprised. I'm not surprised. They're amazing. Yeah. I'm not surprised.
And then people send me pictures of them framed.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the poster campaign that's running now that people are going to be requesting proofs of in 35 years' time?
There's a challenge for the industry. That's the
Yeah,
brief.
what's the commercial that is running now that kids are going to be singing
Yeah.
in the playgrounds?
Yeah.
See, I've got this is a true story, and I did a talk about it recently because this is true. Unlike everything I've said up to now, this is the truth.
Yeah.
I got in a cab the other day. I like a chat. I the cab driver normally says, "Here, what do you do?" And I'll say, "I'm in advertising." And then they tell me what's wrong with advertising. This was different, insofar as, "Oh, I'll tell you what my favourite ad is." I said, "No, go on then." A secret lemonade drinker,
Wow.
or White's lemonade.
Wow.
I think that's 53 years old.
Yeah.
I think it's 53 years old. Um, and that's the God's honest truth. And then I decided after that, because I've been asked to do a talk for the Arrows Craft Fair
Mm.
Festival.
Yep.
And I thought, right, okay, there's going to be a lot of, this is the way my mind works. There's nothing really logical about it at all. I think, right, okay, there's going to be a lot of very brainy, sensible people, panels, talk, very accomplished people talking about serious stuff, cinematography, editing, that stuff that I can't compete with. And it's not a competition. So, I think at the Arrows they thought, oh, he's an old bloke who's been doing it 50 years. We're 50 years old. It's our 50th anniversary as well. Let's get that old bloke in, and he'll probably talk about a load of old stuff. The end. And I thought, right, I know there's going to be all these learned, skillful craftspeople talking about the craft. And I thought, no one is going to sing jingles from the 1970s accompanied by the ukulele. And I was right. I was the only one who did that. And I told the story about the cab driver and the secret lemonade drinker. And that's the first jingle I sang. And I did that because that's the way my mind works. I think everyone else is going to be doing that, so I'll do that, which
Yeah.
is the opposite of what everyone else is going to do. And there was, I suppose this is where people might talk about brave clients, because I was my own client then, and I suppose I was brave. then, insofar as I didn't know how it was going to go down. I didn't know if I was going to be a laughing stock or what on earth is that stupid old git doing? I knew that could be a reaction.
And what was
But
the
I
reaction?
thought it was worth it.
Yeah.
And I got the reaction that I really wanted. The audience sang along with me. And I went to the Arrows show later on, and I'm still dealing with the amount, and by dealing, I mean happily going through the list of all the people that have contacted me that want to meet up after I put that show on.
Amazing.
It's kind of opened up loads of bloody doors for me.
Yeah, incredible.
I mean, that's advertising.
Yeah. We're selling
You
yourself, as
do
you said.
something bold and you take a bit of a risk, say, think this is different from what everyone else is doing in the marketplace. And then an agency say, yes, Mr. or Mrs. Client, that's good. That's a
Yeah.
good thing, doing something different from everyone else because it stands out. And if you make it entertaining enough and informative enough and warm enough and human enough, then they will not only notice it because it's different from everything else, but they will want to be part of it and they will go down to the shops and buy your tin of baked beans. It ain't any harder than that. It's very, very simple. Advertising simple, made complicated by the politics that's going on now. Your big networks, obviously, they want to please the clients.
Yeah.
Sometimes the clients really should say, don't just try to please me.
Yeah. Yes.
I know it's got for the share price. I love the thickness of all these timesheets you've filled in. That shows you care about me. Look at all those hours you're billing me for. But maybe you should try not to please me in an obvious way. Please me by delivering something that is going to make my product famous and make people want to buy it.
And make them famous as well within their
Yeah. So
industry and their thing.
so if when you get it right, and the fact is, you've got no chance of making that dent and making that breakthrough stuff without doing something a little bit different.
Yeah.
See, the
100%.
main thrust of the sing along I did at the Arrows, there was actually a serious point about it. It's about everyone's forgotten about entertainment in advertising, and that was a big part of it. The entertainment factor. It's great. You've got to be informative and you've got to be persuasive. And I love that scene out of Glengarry Glen Ross, where Alec Baldwin says, "Always be closing, ABC,
Yeah.
always be closing." If you ain't closing the deal,
Yeah.
then it don't matter how many people sing your jingle. It doesn't matter how many people say, "Oh, I love that advert." It doesn't matter. Because unless the baked beans disappear off the shelves, it's not very good advertising. So you've got to get all the bits right. But if you're not, and by entertaining, I mean, it could be like Guardian Points of View. It could be a serious film. No, don't have to make people laugh or sing or anything. You just need to grab them
Yeah.
in a dramatic way. I think laughter is the best way of getting people. All the things I share are unless it's some health issue that I'm sharing with another old person. Yeah, guess what? We shouldn't be eating this. Let's stop drinking Stingo.
Yeah.
It's not good for you, apparently. Funny stuff is the stuff I share. So it's the easiest way of getting to people, but it's the hardest way insofar as it's bloody hard to do funny stuff. It's hard to write it. And when you've written something funny and you're in a meeting with 20 other people around the table, the stakeholders standing there with their stakes, ready to drive the stakes into the heart of your idea, everyone joins in. Oh, yeah, I don't like that bit, don't like that bit, don't like that bit. You get to the end of it, you think, where's the funny bit gone?
Yeah.
Funny how it's just like laser guided sight a lot of times I found in pre-production meetings. Right, okay, we love it. We love it. We bought it. Just one little thing. We'd like to take that bit out. Oh, you mean the punchline?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a bit nervous about that bit. The punchline. Right, okay. All right, great. Let's make it. Yeah, good. Yeah,
do you
we've had
think
some research results. No one's noticed it. Oh,
do you think people having as much because you've obviously had a lot of fun through your career. Do you think people are having fun now? Because fun creates fun stuff. Do you think people are having fun or able to have fun or feel like they can have
yeah.
fun?
Look, I'm sure some people are having fun.
Mm.
Um, I did a very interesting thing when because I haven't had fun for the full 50 years. During lockdown,
I was going to ask how it was.
um, was going to swear then, but I won't swear.
You can swear
I
if you
had
want.
I had the worst time of my life.
Why?
Fuck me, I was in a bad place. I was like a puddle on the floor. I really was because a load of things, bad things happened at the same time. Obviously, COVID,
Yeah.
lockdown. My first wife got cancer, and it was such a bad cancer right at the start of
Oh,
lockdown.
jeez.
When you couldn't go get doctor's appointments, that we genuinely thought she was going to die, and
Wow.
that was the very worst part of my life. And whenever I've had any troubles in the past in life, and I've never had anything as serious as that, I'd escape to work. That's why I
Mm,
work a lot, because
yeah.
real life is difficult. Work is easy on a lot of levels. In my confused, scrambled existence, um, and I couldn't go. I couldn't go. I wouldn't have gone to work anyway. I had to look after her, and she's so she's a force of nature. Even though I'm not married to her anymore, she's a phenomenal person, absolute force of nature. She didn't let it get to her, and she also didn't let uh, COVID and lockdown stop her from going out. And the doctors had said to me, "Don't let her go out. Don't let her get COVID. She won't be allowed to have chemo if she's got COVID." So I spent a time not being able to go to work and escape, locked away from work, rugby tackling my missus as she went out the front door. At the end of it all, and fortunately, she came through it, and she's bouncing with health now. Life is
Yes.
working for
Great.
her, and good luck to her in her life. Um, but it took me years to get over that. It really did. And I was a gibbering mess. Um, and I thought, right, I can't wait till the lockdown to be over. I'll go back to work. Great. And it felt what it felt like, because my main job being a director, it felt like my network had decided not to come back.
Mm,
They'd retired, because it was a generation or two below me who were my main network, who were feeding me scripts.
yeah.
So it was a whole new bunch of people who didn't know me. The scripts weren't there, or I was one of a very long list pitching for something, and I was for want of a better term, unfashionable old bloke on the list. So I thought, fuck it, what am I going to do? So I just thought, right, I'd seen the film with Robert De Niro, The Intern. I thought, right, okay, I'll just go out on social media, like social media. I say, right, okay, who wants a 65-year-old intern?
Yeah.
The only
With
deal
Laura.
is, I you only have to pay. I turn up. You only have to pay me interns' wages. I thought it's an interesting experiment. It got me out of the house. It got me back to work. I felt useful. Um, and like agencies and clients and everyone on LinkedIn, they talk about storytelling
Yeah.
all the time. It's like still a very, very important buzzword, storytelling. And I keep looking at the work attached to this storytelling word concept and think, where's the story? It feels like most of the people who talk about storytelling couldn't story tell their way out of a wet paper bag.
Mm,
And I think, right, here's a good story. 65-year-old bloke. I'm 70 this year, so it just shows you about it was getting on for 5 years ago. 65-year-old bloke becomes an intern, and I thought, I won't take my laptop. it would be a better story if I take a bag of magic markers and a layout pad. And my first big blunder was I turned up on Monday. I didn't realise how much things had changed in agency
Yeah.
over the last 35 years. And I was the only one sitting in the creative department,
Yeah.
the only
Yeah.
one. Um, and I turned up on the Friday as well, and no one else was there then either. So that was an education, just getting me around. What do you mean you don't go into work every day? Couldn't get me bonds around that at
Yeah.
all. Because when I was in my agency times, I was in,
Weekend.
I was the weekend. I remember me and Chris Palmer at BB8 Saturday night. We'd be there Saturday night.
Yeah.
We'd be there Christmas Day.
Yeah.
The amount of Christmas days I spent when we had our own agency, I think I was there most Christmas days, all the time I was there.
Wow.
I was lucky enough to be working with another um, nutcase, for want of a better term, who, you know, there's a choice. Go and have some creative fun with my mate Chris Palmer, or go back home and see the annual Christmas argument with my mum and dad. There's no competition really. Let's go and have some creative fun.
I was going to ask, do you run towards the fun or run away from the not fun? You said life can be difficult. Do you run away from that, or do you run towards having more fun?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I was such a bloke. I've only just got over it, to be honest. It's only this year that I've bounced back
It's a lot to get
from
through. Yeah.
that trauma.
Yeah.
And not knowing, trying to work out where I fit in now.
Mm.
But fortunately, because the one thing I've never had a problem with, and it's almost like it's not a choice. I'm constantly coming up with creative ideas, like constantly, every single day. Behind me, you can see I've got a big box, loads of box files. They're all full of different concepts.
Wow.
I draw scamps and stupid ideas every day. And I have a pad by my bed. I wake up in the morning. I wake up in the middle of the night and scribble things down. It's constant. It never stops. I've got no. Someone gives me I love briefs. If you give me a brief with 3 weeks, I'll wait until the last day to start work on it. Give
Yeah.
me a brief, give me a brief with 5 minutes on it.
You'll do
I'll
it.
give
You'll
you a
knack it.
concept back in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
And forgive me if this sounds arrogant. Give me 5 minutes to work on something, and I would say 9 times out of 10, I could come up with something better than what's running on the telly now.
I would believe that.
I sit in tubes and I look at the tube cards, and I rewrite the ads. Think, oh, that'd be a better line. They should use that as a visual. I'll redo the art direction. I can't stop doing that, and I can't stop thinking of funny things to do outside of advertising. So when I was still the puddle on the floor, trying to work out where I fit in with the world, and you know, along with a Dolomite sprint, just the feeling of being valued is so important. And I'm not so sophisticated or anything that I still need that, like food. I want to please.
Yeah.
I don't want to fall out with anyone. I'm not saying that when I was young and stupid, I didn't exert a bit of unneeded unpleasantness to try and get an idea through. I'm older now, I'm wiser, and you have to put your arm around people, not fight them.
Yeah.
And I want everyone to be happy, and I want them to have better stuff, better creative results than they expect. So doing extra stuff, it's just like, oh, I really like these people. I'll give them another gift because I like them. And then really great things happen. And then before you know it, you're all on a stage together with the spotlight on you, taking the bows. How great is that?
What would you? I'm interested, Mark. What would you do if Uncommon offered you a job? Would you take it?
I'd take it tomorrow. If Niels Leonard phoned me up tomorrow, very interesting that he's the only famous creative in advertising now.
Yeah,
Creatives are not allowed to be famous anymore.
yeah.
They used to be. Abbott,
Very lots of
Dave Trott,
yourself.
John Egerty, and all the other people, like Mike Cousins and Gordon Smith and all of the other people. And you get the front page of Campaign.
Yeah,
It wouldn't even be bosses of agency, it'd be a top team.
yeah,
Top team go from this agency to that agency for this big package.
yeah,
And they'd get footballer wages and Ferraris and
yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
Because what they did, and I'm not saying, maybe they were overindulged, maybe they were. But it's funny that all of that stuff coincided with an era where the punters
loved
generally,
the
not
stuff.
everyone, loved advertising.
I would,
And
yes,
they loved it. And it was part of popular culture. They loved the very best of it because there's always been crap advertising. I'm not trying to pretend otherwise. But there's two unfashionable agencies. Leo Burnett, that I used to work at in St Martin's Lane. But when I got off the train at Charing Cross, I used to walk past Gears Gross. Now, you asked any youngsters or anyone about Gears Gross and what they did, and I'd look in their front window and they had all of the kind of little brand mascots from all the advertising they did. Did Gears Gross ever win an award? Ever? They were so unfashionable, but they did loads of really popular adverts. You look at and again, I can't remember a lot of them now, but you think like I'm pretty sure, and I may get this wrong because I'm old and it's a long time ago. They did things like the Country Life butter people.
wow,
I don't know if you remember them.
yeah,
The
very much so.
animated,
Yeah, very much so.
funny little songs, and I can remember some of the lines now. Lines that you couldn't get away with now, like we chase the girls and pinch their buns. You couldn't say that now. But there's a lyric from an ad that ran 40 odd years ago that I remembered now.
Yeah,
Greer's Gross did a lot of unfashionable but popular ads. So even what is deemed, because everyone says, yeah, but there's always been crap. Yeah, but a lot of the crap was liked by the punters.
yeah, yeah,
And now even the good stuff that's winning the golds now is not liked by the punters.
yeah,
So a lot of agencies are doing advertising for other people in advertising.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, but what about the punters? Oh, it don't matter about them. He won a gold.
yeah.
Yeah, but no one remembers it. Yeah, but he won a gold. He's got a can gold. He's got the Grand Prix. Yeah, but no,
It's
I
crazy.
don't get it.
I don't. Well, why do you think there's not the famous creatives anymore? The big kind of like yeah, big famous creatives. Why is that not?
Because again, overindulge. Overindulge insofar as they used to get. Some of them used to get shirty when they didn't get their own way.
Yeah,
So a pot plant would be hurled in a meeting,
yeah,
and I'm sure at some point, maybe around the point that Martin Sorrell said it's not about big ideas anymore, it's about big data.
yeah,
Yeah, it's great. Where are the kids singing about the big data in the playgrounds now? Then Martin,
yeah, yeah.
where's the people recalling the big data and buying that tin of beans that had a very good chart attached to it? Yeah, well done, mate.
What's the data
So
showing? Looking at the industry, the data says it doesn't work. It's not
yeah,
working.
so I did have a very intelligent answer then,
So
believe it or not.
where are the famous creatives?
Oh, right, okay. So around that time, an accountant might have said, "Here, we're not spending a lot of money on these creatives, and actually they're kind of getting in the way, and sometimes they annoy the clients. So maybe we should take away all their offices, just so, and mix it up." Yeah, that's the thing that really amazes me. We're meant to be in a communications industry. The average creative department looks like it could be an insurance firm, and All of the creatives mixed up with everyone else have got their headphones on and their faces are locked on a computer screen.
Mm,
Where's the communication going on
mm,
in the communications industry?
yeah.
And it's a hostile environment for coming up with ideas. And because I've heard of a few agency chiefs trying to work out how to get people coming back into the office again. There's an interesting experiment. Give anyone any creatives who come into the office their own office.
Yeah.
You want to work from
Yeah,
home. You want the
interesting.
flex. You want the flexible working. Great. There's an open plan bit. You can sit anywhere you like. But the people who make a commitment to come into the office get their own office. Your choice. I'm not a psychologist. I think that might work.
I think it's a great idea.
Person.
It's a really good
You
idea.
know, an easy, cheap experiment as well.
Yeah.
Don't have to cost a lot. They don't have to be sumptuously appointed offices.
Yeah.
You know, cheap.
But that's
Have
why
a go.
that's why I always wanted to be in the office when I was in it, was because it was better where I lived, and it had better food and it had better drink and
Yeah, me too. Yeah, my flat. I opened the door, the cupboard door. There's a tin of Heinz tomato soup. There was a tin of Heinz baked beans, and there was a loaf of bread in the freezer. That was about it. There was what I had I was in this flat for 16 years. Four rings on the hob, four hobs, whatever you call it. In 16 years, I only used one.
yeah,
That was my life at home.
yeah,
And I had a telly. I got up, had a shower, went to work, came home, watched the telly a bit, had beans on toast, got them, went to bed. That was it. That was it. So life for me was outside of the flat. I hardly spent I had an oven. I used to keep my shoes in it. Never used the oven once. Brand new oven. Came with the flat. Never used it. I had a lot of shoes, so I kept my shoes in the oven. Because it was a small flat. I didn't have much storage space.
brilliant.
Life was outside, and all of these exciting, creative, brainy people, restaurants I'd never dream of going to when I was younger.
Mm,
Draw a picture. John Egerty said, if when I worked at BBH, if you got the hardest bit about getting work through was getting it through John Egerty.
yeah,
If he signed it off, it I can't remember one piece of work that John Egerty signed off that we did that didn't get made.
amazing.
And maybe there was something that didn't get made, but there wasn't. There wasn't the client. Oh, the client says, can we go again on this? There wasn't that stuff. Sometimes there'd be a few comments, and you'd have to, obviously, you have to adjust things. But generally, the tough thing was getting work to a high enough standard to get through John Egerty. That was the hard bit. So of course I wanted to go to work because especially what's great is starting at it was only 35 people at BBH when I was there, and so it was a relatively young agency, and so there's all these new clients coming in who wanted new problems solved. So you're doing new stuff that no one's ever seen before, and if it got signed off, you'd make it.
Yeah,
Why wouldn't I go in on Saturday night? It's not like I've had a sad life. I was in the 70s. I was an avid club. I'm an enthusiast. I get locked onto something, and the rest of the world don't count. I went clubbing sometimes 7 nights a week. Sometimes, I'd definitely be out clubbing at least three nights a week, right throughout the 70s. And that was my obsession. And I had a fantastic, exciting time then. But when I got my job as an art director, I thought, right, okay, because I was 28 when I got my job at BBH, and I thought this is my time. And It's a long story, so I won't bore you with it. But I tricked my way into BBH because I was a visualizer really, but I was taken on as an art director. And I thought, I've got to pedal very hard to make up for lost time. I want that Dolomite sprint. And I pedaled very, very hard. 4.5 years after I started at BBH, I had my own agency.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Actually, I've just told a lie then, because I was 28, but when we opened the doors of Simon's Palmer, I think I was 31.
Wow.
So, so it was less than 4 years. I'm not very good at maths.
Incredible.
But anyway, we pedalled hard. I met someone really like-minded in Chris Palmer, and the world opened up for me. But
What
where are
was
we
it?
going with this? So I
What,
said, I'm
what,
rambling on.
no, not in the slightest. What was it like being a leader as opposed to being more on the tools as a creative? Did you like being a leader and being an agency owner?
Again, that happened with. Remember, I had gone through all that stuff of not talking in meetings for 3 years.
Mm.
I didn't know where I fitted in. I felt that I'd blagged my way into BBH, and John Egerty, the king of art directors, is going to find out that I'm little more than So all this self doubt, I've always had that. The voices.
Mm.
I'm going to tell a very, very long story quickly. I was shitting myself when I got my job at BBH, and I didn't know Chris Palmer well. It was the first week we worked together. So anytime anything major happened in my life, I used to ring my clairvoyant up to see what was going to happen. So I was making an appointment to see Madam Claire of Catford. How's this going to work out? I've got a job at BBH. And I was going with an old copywriter friend of mine, Jennifer Kelly from Leo Burnett. And Chris had overheard and he said, yeah, that sounds good. What's that all about? That sounds a bit odd. And I said, yeah, you go down to Catford, Brown Hill Road, Catford, Madam Claire, go and have your fortune read, go and have a curry afterwards, talk about it. Good night out. He said, I'll have a bit of that. Anyway, I phoned back Claire, make an appointment. I'll go in first because it's my idea. Black tablecloth, chalk marks all around it, all battered up old playing cards, not tarot cards. I have to shuffle them, cut them. She puts them around the table on these old dusty marks, she starts turning them over and says, right, okay, you've just met someone very significant. I said, right. Not trying to give too much away because I want her to tell me. Right, okay, someone significant. I see you in front of the camera. I see you behind the camera. I see fame, fortune in front of the camera, behind the camera, name over the door. I said, what do you mean? She said, you're going to go into business together.
Wow.
This is the first week that I started working with Chris. Anyway, we go for the curry afterwards. Chris said, yeah, front of the camera, behind the camera, name over the door, Hollywood. She said to Chris, Chris owns the big Hollywood home that what's his name? Who's the fashion designer turned director? Ford.
I don't know.
Something about, is it A Simple Man or something like that? Anyway, flash location home. That's Chris's house in Hollywood. He's got a flat in the Barbican as well. But so everything that Claire said came true. We did quite well. I got a phone call from this bloke. A few years later, this bloke I'd never heard of. He said, "My name's Paul Simons, not the singer."
Yeah.
He said, "I'm the managing director of GGT, or I was the managing director." He said, "I'm setting up a new agency. Do you want to have a chat?" And I just cut the receiver and said to Chris, "It's that phone call that we've been waiting for."
Wow.
And then we started a new agency. We're crap at new business. We really were. We had the best account man ever in Carl Johnson. Fantastic, fantastic. I've never seen the likes of before or since. Fantastic at selling stuff, but we were crap at new business. So I'd already got the hang of of making things happen out of nowhere. I used to pick up Norman's phone in his office when he was out down the pub sometimes, answer his phone. Oh, it's a photographer's rep here. Can I show you a book? I'd say, yeah. I'd pretend I was an art director, look at the portfolio and say, oh, do you want to, I've got these concepts. Do you want to make them? Um, Pretending I was an art director and not a visualizer. And I'd talk people into making things for me. So I'd already started that. And so early on, I'd already got the knack of getting loads of production and print made for nothing. And we won a lot of our awards early on stuff for clients that we didn't actually have.
Wow, amazing.
And that put us on the map. And that we won so many awards that that Nike knocked on the door because we were
Hot.
making waves.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened. And I didn't, but naively, I've never had the training to be any kind of boss. So I don't know if I was a particularly good boss. I wanted to do good work. I thought I want us to be as famous as CDP, and that was my brief to me.
Yeah.
So I became very unreasonable, um, and I didn't know how to play the game. And I know now that the game is as important as talent.
Mm,
In fact, the ability to play the game is a talent in itself.
yes. Yes.
So you have to be persuasive and enrolling at all times.
Mm,
And going back to all of the stuff we've been talking about, a lot of clients are not being persuaded or enrolled. They're just being serviced.
yeah.
And that is doing them a disservice.
Yeah.
And that's what's gone wrong, I think.
Yeah. And if they're unhappy, then they're going to blame where that's coming from, and
Yeah, and
blah
then
blah blah.
nothing remarkable happens. You've got a short-term relationship because people don't have long-term relationships anymore.
Yeah.
Something's made. It's unremarkable. Of course, they're going to talk to another agency afterwards because no magic has been produced.
Mm,
I know it's very simplistic me saying that, but I'm thinking, isn't that the case?
yeah, I'd agree. Have you any regrets? Just to kind of finish off, have you any regrets in your career? 'Cause you've done so many amazing things and met so many people and worked with so many people. Is there any regrets you've had? Or would you say pretty regret
Well, do you
free?
know what? I'm amazed I'm still here. I'd still like a Dolomite sprint if that was possible. Um, I've actually been fired 6 times in my career. I've learned a lesson every time I've been fired. I think I'm better creatively now than I've ever been before because I've strayed into the world of art, and then suddenly that gives me license to do any creative stuff I want. And that a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff I've learned from the world of art, I think I can reintroduce into the world of commercial art to the benefit of everyone.
Yeah.
I would like to, I would like to stir the pot a bit and create some kind, be at the in the vanguard of whatever it takes to make the pendulum swing back the other way
Yeah.
and give clients stuff that they are going to be proud of and that's going to do great things for them. I would like to be part of that and part of the revolution that is going to, or the renaissance, that's going to make advertising agencies purveyors of magic as opposed to purveyors of grey wallpaper. Regrets, I've made so many cock-ups in my career. I could do a podcast just about the cock-ups. And but I've bounced back. I've learned stuff. I've earned a fortune. I've spent a fortune.
Yeah.
I'm still here. I'm solvent, and I've got loads of ideas, and I want to talk to loads of people about exciting things that we can do together. So,
Brilliant.
what is there to regret, really?
I would agree. And where can people find you if they need to find you? What's the easiest way to get hold of
They
you?
can email me at mark@coy-com.com. They can find me on LinkedIn. I always pick up the phone. I always answer messages. I always go for a cup of tea. unless you're trying to sell me double glazing, unless you want me to work on your double glazing advertising account, of course. I would like to do something mutually beneficial with anyone who wants some sort of creative stuff,
Yeah.
any sort of creative stuff.
Brilliant.
I'm not qualified to do most things. A blank sheet of paper and a pen is my tool of choice. I'm best at that. And I know how to take that and enroll lots of other people to make that really bloody great. I could be modest, but I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
I'm good at doing things that get spotlights shone on them. I did this art project recently. Someone invited me to be part of an art exhibition, the best brief in the world, 50 years of punk. I think you didn't need a deck. That's a great brief. 50 years of punk. They asked for one piece of work, 23 artists, Johnny Rotten, other famous people, one of 23, one piece of work. I did 5 pieces of work. Did 5 pieces of work, and I did an AI animation of one of the pieces of work. And one of my pieces got chosen to go on the front cover of the big issue
Wow.
out of 3 other artists.
Amazing. Yeah.
Now, between you and me, I went into that thinking, great brief, honoured to be asked to be part of it. I want to own it.
I was
I
going
want to
to
own
say, get the
this
front cover.
exhibition.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to own it. And
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about a front cover then. I just thought, I want to have a bigger presence in this show than anyone else. So I not only did my pieces of art, I did custom made frames, hand painted frames for all of them that linked all 5 people. I thought, again, thinking they may not put all my art together. It might be scattered around the show. So I think I'll do these big coloured hand painted frames that people know that that piece of art is linked with that bit. It's what I've learned in advertising is really useful for the world of art. Now I've learned loads of things in the world of art that are really useful in the world of advertising.
Yeah.
And I owned it. And I got on the front cover of the big issue, and it's opened up a lot of conversations for me. And I can do that for clients.
Yes.
If you want to have a bit of fun together and not people say, oh, very brave client. The bravest clients are the ones who buy the vanilla sludge. Fuck me, that's brave.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do this. What we want to propose is this stuff that no one's going to notice, has got no craft applied to it, and no one's going to be talking about it in years to come or buying your product. Yeah, that sounds good. That's the brave client.
Yeah, I would agree.
Bloody hell, I'm not that brave. I'd rather do something that stands out and creates a bit of magic in the world.
So rather than always be closing, always be over delivering.
Yeah, and do you know what? Not because I'm not for any other reason that it's more fun. I want to put a smile on the client's face as much as I want to put a smile on everyone else's face.
Yeah.
It's good, when you've got a lovely gift, giving it to someone, isn't that a delight?
Yeah. Yeah.
And everyone's happy with that. So only because it's fun and not because I think, I'll show them, I'll do more work than everyone. Fuck it, I just like doing stuff. It's more fun than not doing it.
And thank you for giving me the gift of being on this podcast as well. I've enjoyed it a lot.
You're welcome. And sorry it's gone over by an hour.
I'd love to have another one at some point, another chat.
Anytime you like.
Love to. There's lots and lots I'd like to know.
Well, look, thanks for asking me, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
I hope so too. And have an amazing day as well. And thank you again.
Cheers.
Like, subscribe, and comment to show your support.